back to Chimenia Presents Accept the Blues, and in this episode, I have Gautam, who's a hacker and also an author. So, without any further ado, let's get on the video. Gautam, thank you so much for being on Accept the Blues. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
How are you? How is your day going?
I'm good. It's a lazy Sunday, rainy weekend in Goa. So I just
I,
had a lazy day. Nothing to
that sounds more like your Instagram profile, Lazy Tight and Go. So, why do you call
add.
yourself lazy?
Yeah. Uh, well, all Goans call themselves lazy. There is this term, susegad. So that is associated with Goans mostly. So susegad is just a state of being the lazy. So it's like a thing, yeah. And we often, like being lazy. That's what I notice about my friends. And so obviously we hustle and everything, but especially when it's weekend and all, and especially that's how the tradition has always been. You come home, you have fish curry rice, go to sleep. That's the thing which is being associated with Goans often. So I just use that as a lazy guy.
That is cool. So, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience? It would be great.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, hi everyone. I'm Gautam, and like I already said, born brought up in Goa, and I work as a cybersecurity professional. So I work for the software firms, and I do hacking legally and internally. So we get softwares and systems fixed before outside attacker can hack and breach our systems. We do it internally and get them fixed. Yeah. Besides, other than that, I'm also an author of two novels. Two of my novels are in market. The first book is titled I Am So Hacked, which was released in around 2019. And it's a story of a hacker, which is now going to be a trilogy. The second book from the hacker series should be out soon. And one of my other novel is in market. It got released recently as in 4 months back. It's titled Stone, the Untold Story of COVID-20. So here COVID is written as COVID. Not that I'm promoting any drug or alcohol abuse here on this chat, but that's the theme of the novel. It's a story of stoner, and it has a sci-fi satire theme associated with it, and it has a nice little message and foreword written by DJ Nuclear. So yeah, that's in short about me.
That's super cool. So, do you used to write before? पहले से आप लिखते थे या you have started writing after?
No, I used to write. I have been writing since a long time now. I just that this works got published recently, but I always used to write long back when we had something called as blogspot.com. Now that has become
Yeah,
bloggers.com.
blogger.com.
Yeah, blogger.com. Yeah, and yeah, I used to write there mostly, and in college magazines and some newspaper stories and all long back, like before all this social media write-ups and these apps like uh, terribly tiny tail and your code and meraki came into existence. We had those mediums. I used to write there. So basically that's the thing actually. Whatever blog posts and a random social media post on Facebook or code which I wrote, now they are published as novels. So yeah, I've always been writing, and it's a good thing. I mean, there is no particular, you know, not that there is a want to write or something. It's just or there isn't any need to write or something. It's just something which I like to do for myself, and then yeah, so that has kind of stayed with me.
So, when have you decided that you're going to release your book?
Well, like I said, there is no exactly fixed process or timeline or anything related to my published work. So speaking like before I am so hacked and stoned, I also wrote one more book which went unpublished. I mean, did get a publisher, but then there were some things like they wanted me to change the end and all. That was way back, like 2013 or something. So that's when I had written when I'd moved from Goa to Pune for work. That's when I had written that novel. It's an epistolary novel. So that's when that idea came. like my friends who read it on my blogs and even the manuscript, my Pune friends, they wanted me to have a go at publishing. So that's when I decided, okay, fine, maybe it deserves greater visibility. So it's a different story that I didn't end up publishing. It's still lying in my documents folder. And with Hacker series, again the same thing happened. I was working in this antivirus company, Quick Hill, and I wrote a few security blogs, but with a blend of fiction, non-technical blog basically, with a blend of technique, both
Okay. Yeah.
technical and non-technical. And that's where my colleagues were after me, like maybe you should make a book out of it. So I just approached publishers with three blogs that I had and told them that this is the story I have. So when they asked me to, send a full manuscript, that's when I completed the manuscript. And yeah, so again, it was not a fixed answer as such when I decided. It just happened in flow and flow. And with Stoned also same thing happened. So these were again blog posts I had written in 2018, and they had gone viral that time on Facebook. मतलब उस जमाने की बात है when Facebook had something called as reach. अभी तो कुछ है ही
Oh.
नहीं उधर. So it had got shared a lot of times, and it reached Half Baked Beans publishers ka Facebook page, and they had asked me to write more such posts. And then me and Chetan, we had met in Pune, and we had discussed this, making this novel. But I was kind of occupied, and now during lockdown, when I got some time, I ended up completing it. So that's the thing actually. So it's just a flow. There is no particular answer, like traditional way to go about when it comes to me. I'll finish the manuscript, approach the publisher, then we'll have those discussions, then it'll probably nothing like that. It just happens sometimes. To
Talking about your job, that is again super cool thing. So did you thought about hacking or it just happened it just happened to you? Hacking or cybersecurity?
again, yeah, maybe that's something that I maybe that's something that I did. Yeah, I did think about it because in college also I was very much interested in security. But then when you're in college, you don't really know, like our syllabus and everything. It's like, what do we do after engineering? That career related thing is not very, that knowledge is not there when we are studying. So obviously, I wanted to go into security, but I didn't know the kind of opportunities which are there in security. At that time, things were different also. So yeah, after that I did normal software testing code, nothing specific to security. But during my college, again, I had taken a year, a drop of a year, and during that year, I had attended many cybersecurity conferences, ethical hacking, white hat workshops. So maybe those certificates helped, and then again that software testing course and those hacking certificates kind of landed me in Quick Hill. So I guess we can say the same thing. It just went with the flow. I did not decide that,
But you
like
like
I'll
but you
do.
like hacking.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. Even if you see my engineering transcript, I have 80 plus in this final year subject which I had cyber forensic, and 80 plus in this first year time pass subjects that we have. Sorry, not time pass subject, it's a very important subject. Communication skills वो हुआ करता था like first semester में. तो उसमें 80 प्लस थे, बाकी सब 35 प्लस ही है. तो आइदर इस पार या उस पार. आई डोंट थिंक आई वुड हैव बीन. I was okay with these two things only, so I guess I'm lucky that I landed in these two things only. Rest everything I'm just passing marks. I mean, you don't even see my transcript. I told it to
Talking
anyone.
about hacking, we find it a very cool job, okay, whenever we know about. So how is it like does it require a lot of things or it's just again a cool job जो हमें बाहर से लगता है? Of course it's different.
No, no, it's very research oriented, and you have to be on your toes all the time because so many security attacks keep coming into market every now and then. So you have to keep yourself updated, and there is no monotonous work here, which is something that I like. It's always constantly a different challenge. It's not like कि specific way कि यार इसको मैंने ये किया then होगी security. It's not like that. Every application is different. Every software is different in terms of different technology, different architecture, or which what are open endpoints basically, through which the users communicate. So all those things need to be taken into consideration. You need to understand everything. For example, I'm hacking a, yeah, say, a what do you call that? Cameras. Okay, hacking a camera. Okay, webcam, for example. Now every manufacturer has a different way of creating that webcam in terms of software, in terms of how the whole webcam is being made, hardware, software, everything. So every webcam is a challenge. I can't say कि oh same thing इधर कर दिया, same चीज उधर कर दिया, हो गया. So 2 हफ्ते तो उसको understand करने के लिए ही जाते हैं, and then on the basis of understanding you need to create your scope of testing, or build your plan कि इसको ये चीजें करके देख सकते हैं. So yeah, it's a challenge, and it's not easy, but then that's what makes it more interesting for me uh, as a security person. That challenge is really interesting.
I don't know if it's required, but I just want to say I also have Quickheal in my laptop.
Oh yeah, Quickhill is great.
I just
Quickhill is awesome.
remembered. Oh shit. Okay, so actually, so you have your work. Okay, like all you do 9 to 5 job or more than that. Then how do you do?
Hmm.
How do you manage writing and both of your work? Manage time for both of the things.
That's a question which I get asked a lot of time, especially when it comes to security. Like I said, it's always, constant research, and then writing का research कैसे balance होता है. But then that's the thing actually. I don't write much these days. I had written those blog posts, उनको compile करके ये novels बन गई. But उतना भी नहीं लिखता मैं जितना some of the other authors write. Maybe some authors complete books in 1 month, 2 months, and they write huge one lakh words ke novels. So maybe yeah. I mean, I'm giving you a very practical answer. One thing is I don't write a lot, and anyway I spend 364 days out of 365 just doing a lot of things. Be it security, be it roaming. I'm an ambivert. I kind of like going out also, so I do go out a lot,
You
party,
like
and
you're
like
an
everything.
introvert.
No, I'm an ambivert. Yeah, mix of
Oh,
introvert and
sorry.
extrovert, I would say.
Oh, that
Often writers are called introverts. Yeah, but
yeah.
that's what I wanted to clarify. So
I
I'm
heard
an
introvert and then I was like, I like going out.
oh
It's two different things. How is it possible?
no. I wanted to say extrovert, but then maybe I'm not an extrovert because most of the time I do end up canceling plans because of so many things, so many deadlines which are there, especially last 2 3 years. So I would rather stick to calling myself an ambivert, a mix of both. So यही होता है 364 days I do time pass, and then 365th day पे I will just maybe sit and write, and maybe that's what it helps, whatever experiences that I get in on the 364 day, the
Yeah.
65th day में वो सब बाहर आता है. So I don't write often. If I can answer you in very straightforward manner.
It's basically
But
your
yeah, one thing,
experiences.
yeah, it just yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing, and not just in terms of writing, but anything that you're doing, you don't have to dedicate a lot of time if you're, whatever time that you're dedicating, if you're very focused and if you're very clear about why you are dedicating that time, right? So if I spend 2 days writing and sometimes nothing happens, हुआ है मेरे साथ भी हुआ है, कभी कभी weekend पे बैठता हूँ मैं, मतलब. See, the good thing about being in IT is Monday to Friday is a job. Weekends are mostly off. So I guess having weekends definitely help. You can relax for one day and maybe focus on the researching and writing part. But then ऐसा होता है कि like sometimes 2 दिन में कुछ नहीं लिख पाते and sometimes 2 घंटे में बहुत कुछ लिख पाते हैं. तो वो 2 दिन वाला पैक मैं स्किप ही कर देता हूँ. क्यों टाइम 2 घंटे में जितना हो सकता है कर देंगे. वो अच्छा है बुरा है वो छोड़ो, फिर इतना सोचता नहीं हूँ मैं. Whatever I end up writing, I just uh, put it out or publish it. Let people judge. That is not an issue.
But why do writers are called introvert? I don't know the reason.
I also don't know because I'm not one. But yeah, often it's called because even now lockdown के time पे ना I used to get this lot of things like अभी तो तू घर पे है, अभी now it will be like perfect for you, right? You can produce novels after novels, and I'm like no. बाहर जाके जब experience करोगे तो ही उसके बारे में लिखोगे ना. I can't shut myself in room and then just write and write and write. Maybe in popular media culture and all, writers are shown that way, so that's why maybe, but I'm not really sure. I'm not an introvert. I guess it's the same thing with hackers. They show hackers like some geeky guy ऐसे black hoodie पहन के सिर्फ room में
Yeah.
बैठ के रहते. So these are all just perception. That is not actually true.
which we see in movies like Legend do interview
Yeah.
and the thing is got
Yeah.
hacked.
Yeah. Tha, some bunch of keys you get access granted, but then that's not the case. You have to design a lot of scenarios, like I was explaining earlier, right? We have to focus on building those softwares and assessing those softwares before doing the punch of keys. Yeah,
So were you
so
a
that is
avid
something which I.
reader before you started writing your own books?
Yeah, yeah. I have been a voracious reader. I used to read a lot. Growing up, I used to read a lot of books. But that's the thing, actually. Last 2, 3 years, I have not read also much. But yeah, reading is very important. And
What kind of
I
books you
have
used to like?
been
Like what genre basically?
I don't have a specific genre as such. I like during growing up, I used to read all Marathi, Hindi kind of books which my parents had. So my parents also a voracious reader. We have a mini library kind of cupboard kind of which is full of all books, and most
Wow.
of them were yeah, most of them were regional language book Marathi. So I used to read that, and then obviously growing up, I started reading a lot of all those books. Harry Potter, then Chetan Bhagat, all kind of book. And but I also read a lot of psycho thrillers and techno thrillers as well. That was again part of my research maybe. Um, so yeah, I like Chuck Palahniuk. I know many like he's most. I don't know if people actually like or find him relatable, but since I was writing psycho thrillers, I kind of ended up reading a lot of his books and I liked it. Harold Robbins in terms of classics, and Scott Fitzgerald again in terms of classics, and John Green if we speak about rom-com and coming of age novels. He's
Yeah.
also a Liverpool supporter, so I like that. And yeah, that's important for me. And who else?
So do you
Yeah, I
like
guess like
non-fiction?
as
Or you don't
uh
read?
no non-fiction. I don't think I've read many books.
You just read
Yeah.
fiction books.
Yeah, fiction is good. I like getting lost in the that real.
Just
Reality is
read.
not often
Yeah,
interesting.
that's again true. Which is like people always want to be in different world while they're reading. This is not
Yeah,
me.
right. That's the best thing.
Yeah, that's like we can't
That's the best
imagine.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
But like, what do you like? You said about Chetan Bhagat. Did you like Chetan Bhagat books back then when you were a teenager? Because I also did, but
Yeah. I mean, see, obviously, our tastes keep on changing. I'm not saying his earlier books were good and now they are not good, but as a reader, obviously, you evolve. Your tastes keep changing. I mean, people still like his books, and
yeah, of
obviously, what
course.
he created in Indian market is very, he kind of gave that platform for all this, campus novels to grow and flourish. So for that, massive respect to him. And I did enjoy reading back then, and I would say I would enjoy especially Two States. That was my favorite back then, and I
Yeah.
guess I'll enjoy it even now. Yeah. So
The
that's what I
first,
said. I don't have a specific genre or anything. I whatever depends on my mood. I like it. I enjoy it.
the first book which I read, like in my whole reading journey,
Uh-huh.
was Half Girl. Half Girl
Oh,
written
that one
by.
I haven't read. That one I haven't read. I won't comment on it much, but
Even I
I
don't
didn't
know. I
quite.
read it in eighth standard, and then I'm like, okay, that's the
Oh,
that's the first book I read, and then I evolved like seeing other books. Okay, these are also there, because we know
okay.
Chetan Bhagat from Facebook, as you said that there at that time
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reach was a
obviously.
lot.
Mm.
The promotions
Mm.
were on Facebook, and it's like, oh, this is something
Okay.
a cool book. It sounds good. So, how does
Yeah.
reading helps in writing? Like,
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I mean, most have heard this before, but it's kind of true, and I'll say it again. When you're watching something, your perception is not exactly your perception. You see pictures which are, created by someone else, right? The movie or anything. You already get that spoon feeding of what the visualization basically. The visualization is something which is already done for you when you're watching something on screen along with the story. While when you're reading a book, it's the visualization which you create in your mind, right? When you read something, a para, and uska visualization tum khud create karti ho, rather than some cinematography which is being shown on the screen. So I guess that really helps in developing your brain and also developing your idea. So then as a writer, you can, create words and then create a visualization filled words, not just random words. And I guess that's very important as a writer to help create that visualization. But because see, anybody can write, and I'm not saying writers are some supreme people. Anybody can write, anybody can write. But what is important is to make readers hooked, make readers think, and that is important when you're using the word. Your words should create that visualization. So if you are reading, your mind kind of develops it, and it also helps. And obviously, in terms of vocabulary, also it kind of helps because you're introduced to new words and uh, how to frame sentences and everything. That also definitely helps if you're reading a lot.
Uh, I have a question. Like, if suppose मैं पढ़ रही I don't know आपके साथ ये होता है कि नहीं, but if you read something like a John Green book, suppose, and then you suddenly start thinking in the same direction. So when we write,
Hmm.
does it sounds or so does it look like oh it's something similar story? Maybe at later you can
Hmm.
change it, but at first you just feel like you abhi dekha hai, then it's does it happen with you?
Yeah, it does happen. It does happen. That's what I said. I read a lot of techno thrillers. I was not a huge fan of techno thrillers, but then since my book was based on hacking and thrillers, I ended up reading a lot of techno thrillers to get into that groove. वो रह जाता है. So because I was watching this again, what not watching, reading this novels of a serial killer, Dexter, Jeff Lindsay
Oh,
के books पढ़ रहा था. And then it was kind of there, like I have to do, like wow, this is good. I mean, obviously not wow, it's not a good thing, but then you get my point, right? Like when you're
yeah.
thinking, it's wow. And it kind of helped me base one of my character also, following the similar lines,
Is there
getting
any
to
formula for
similar things.
writing?
Sorry, I didn't quite get you.
Is there
Formula
any,
as in?
as in like some procedure or something like steps to write something?
I guess that's a wrong question to ask me because I already said मेरा सब कुछ messy है कुछ ऐसा fix formula या process नहीं है. But then ideally I would suggest it's a good thing that you have a discipline or process or timeline. Ideally that's a good thing, but then I am an example where good things are not needed, I guess.
Right.
हो जाता है. You just have to write and things kind of fall in place when they have to fall in place. Now, obviously, I don't mean you should not put your work out. I used to put it on blog, and then obviously you have to approach publishers and all that thing. But you have to write, and you while writing, you have to think. Like, oh ये मैं अब book 2 महीने में ये लिखूंगा, तीसरे महीने publisher को भेजूंगा, चौथे महीने publish होगा, फिर मैं famous हो जाऊंगा. Nothing like that. You should drop that idea. You should write for yourself first. See, for me, if you ask me again one sentence, why do I write? I kind of like escaping from the reality. Writing kind of gives me that escape. Whether I'm having a bad day or something is not going right in my work or in life in general, I just end up writing, focusing on my writing, and then it kind of happens. मैं ऐसे इससे नहीं सोचता कि यार ये publish करना है. And then when the thing is ready, then maybe you can think of it, approach publishers, see, or maybe develop it further if it has a big potential to be into a novel. So if you can go ahead with that pure mindset and just, writing for yourself or writing for audience also, that's a because stoned is something which I was not sure writing a book on stoners is a good idea because obviously नहीं होता बट देन वो जो ब्लॉग्स थे वो लोगों को बहुत पसंद आए थे एंड it's not it's completely unconventional writing. I mean, if some people start comparing, they'll obviously a lot of critics will just hate it. Stoned this novella because there is a lot of unconventional writing. There are a lot of references here and there of Bollywood and messy
Yeah.
quotes and satire and sarcasm. It will but then those blogs were enjoyed by people, and I also had fun writing it. So I kind of went ahead with it and made a novel out of it.
It's
So that's
because
the
the
thing,
people
right?
around you were like कि नहीं ये बहुत अच्छा है, it can go well, and then you thought of
Yeah, that is
publishing it.
also there. Yeah, that is also there. If you kind of like it and if people kind of like it, then go for it. It's not like,
When
कोई ऐसे process follow मत करो कि publishing करने के लिए लिखना है and all that.
like
I wouldn't suggest that. No,
पहले
because I get a lot of messages. You know, why I'm saying is people are like, wow, I also want to be a writer, I want to be famous. I'm like, dude, no, famous famous is not something that you should, think of when you're becoming a writer or anything basically. Fame and success will go hand in hand. It will come, but main thing is happiness of you and in my case of my readers. So that should be the focus.
I was about to say that, but okay, I got my answer
As in,
about the writer
no, no,
part.
ask. No, no, what writer part?
No, you what you said now that I also want to be a writer, so I'm like okay, ठीक है. क्योंकि मेरा
Oh,
mindset
yeah,
भी
yeah.
same था. I was like, okay, I got the answer.
It's a great thing that you want to be a writer. That's what I'm saying. But don't be a writer just because, yeah, famous hona hai. No,
Yeah,
that attitude should not be there. I mean,
I
because
think
that attitude,
in any
yeah,
field
sorry,
that's like in any field it's that's like
exactly.
again that's again कि, oh shit famous होने के लिए फिर you just keep thinking कि ऐसा क्या करे जिससे famous हो जाए, and then the things
Yeah,
goes
true.
you
Nothing, it doesn't turn out that way. Yeah. And it kind of doesn't bring the authenticity in your work also, If you go ahead with something with pure intention of being happy, then that is something which is very organic and it kind of ends up liking by people. People end up liking it.
but
So
when did
just
you
one,
sorry go ahead.
yeah. No, no, you go ahead. That's what I mean.
I said but when did you start writing blogs?
Uh, Blogs, like I said, I used to write in my college days. I was also magazine secretary for 2 years, so I used to write technical blogs and also non-technical. Um, so yeah, that was like long back, my college days, and after that I kept writing blogs. Like I said, it's writing for me was just escape from reality. And then when I was at Quick Hill, I wrote a lot of this blend of technical fiction. Hacker की stories लिखे थे बहुत सारे ऐसे. But obviously not revealing the details that we are doing at Quick. But उसके around एक fictional story लिखी थी. And एक रशियन हैकर हैक करता है डिवाइस और फिर उसके पीछे कैसे उसको एनालाइज करना है इसके and then a lot of office ka masala here and there what things. So
Yeah.
people kind of ended up liking it. There was this sarcastic tone to it and also technicality thi. And Pune being a techie city, it got shared here and there within companies and everything. They started liking it. So and yeah, same thing. Like I used to always write. ये stoner diary भी ऐसी ही हुई. Like for example, there were riots in Pune around 3-4 years back, and we were left early from office. Okay, so I came home and I had nothing to do, and I wanted to write something about it. But then मुझे controversy नहीं करनी थी. मतलब किसी का side नहीं लेना था. Orange flag, blue flag. I didn't want to take a spread. So I wrote a stoner side of a story. मतलब एक बंदा high होके कार में बैठा है. He is stoned. He is high, and then he's narrating his version of riots. So he's like कुछ भी होता है like पत्थर आ रहे हैं, stones are flying, the driver is uh, a guy from Thug Life movie, कुछ भी है. There is a girl sitting with next to him. So it's just kind of I wrote it randomly for me to pass some time, and then I shared it on Facebook, and it got shared, and Half Baked Beans के Facebook page पे आ गया. And they asked me to write more such things. They like, wow, this is good. Like ऐसे ही थीम से लिखो. तो यार मेरा मतलब अगेन देयर वाज नो प्रोसेस राइट. मैंने ऐसे ही लिखा था. मैंने सोचा अभी क्या लिखूं ऐसे ही थीम पे. बट सो वी वर जस्ट हैविंग डिनर मेरे रूममेट्स के साथ. 2 दिन हो गए मैंने उनको ये हाँ ना कुछ नहीं बोला. जस्ट सिटिंग हैविंग डिनर एंड वी वर हैविंग जस्ट रैंडम कन्वर्सेशन कि यार कल सुबह मैराथन है. My roommate was saying कि यार my girlfriend is asking me to run for this marathon. कौन उठेगा यार इतने जल्दी? एक तो ये मैराथन भी नहीं है, 42 किलोमीटर की होती है मैराथन, हाफ मैराथन होती है 21 किलोमीटर की ये। सॉरी, आई वाज अबाउट टू यूज अ कर्स वर्ड, आई शुडंट। तो ये सब भागते हैं ऐसे 10 किलोमीटर और फिर मेडल ऐसे मुंह में डाल के फोटो डालते हैं कि मैं मैराथन भाग गया। तो उसमें से आधे टाइम तो चलते हैं, पानी पीते हैं, टाइम पास करते हैं, जूस पीते हैं, दैट इज नॉट अ मैराथन। So then I was like, okay, I think maybe I can write about it. So I wrote like Aman, Naina, and Rohit from Kal Ho Na Ho. So they run for a marathon. ऐसे लिखा था। तो उनकी स्टोरी, लाइक अमन ऐसे पड़ा है मैराथन भागने के बाद, ही इज अबाउट टू डाई एंड ही इज नैरेटिंग लाइक कैसे ये मैराथन भागे, क्यों भागे और क्या क्या हुआ उस मैराथन में। अगेन एनी लाइक स्टोनर्स की स्टोरी है तो कुछ भी डाला उसमें, could be, like, I don't want to reveal a lot of things. But
Yeah,
this is how
sure.
it is. And then that post was, I think, liked by many people us time bhi. And then I wrote stoners going to gym. Then ऐसे बहुत सारे लिखे, 5 ब्लॉग्स लिखे। और अभी उन्हीं ब्लॉग का वो नोवेला बना दिया और 6-7 ऐसे ही चैप्टर्स ऐड किए। उसको एक थीम जैसे दी, स्टोरी लाइन दे दी और हो गया, बन गया। So that's the thing. It just happens here. You don't have to, have a process or fix uh, anything. I forgot what was the question.
No, I just wanted to say that you really need to go out with your friends because you get a lot of things after that. Because
Exactly.
I got hooked, while you're saying the things like, oh, right, true. So, I'm excited
Yeah.
now. But so, talking about writing, but if suppose
Yeah.
there are times, do you get mental block that you don't like? You said you write when you feel like, but is there sometimes
Hmm.
you feel like writing and you get a mental block that you don't get it, you don't get any
Definitely.
idea for it? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I do get, because now, when the first book came out, uh, Hackers ka I Am So Hacked.
yeah,
Uh, Publisher also wanted me to write a second book for it, and even I, kind of saw the potential. And even like अभी भी when I was promoting Stone, उसके ऊपर भी comment ऐसे ही थे कि हैकर सीरीज का सेकंड बुक कब आएगा। हम लाइक ये वो नहीं है, ये अलग है, इसको भी पढ़ लो, इसको इग्नोर मत करो, और वो आएगा। तो पॉइंट इज लॉट ऑफ पीपल आस्किंग फॉर सेकंड बुक। सो दैट काइंड थोड़ा सा प्रेशर आ गया था, बिकॉज अभी लाइक हाउ यू मस्ट हैव अंडरस्टूड, मेरा राइटिंग ऐसे कुछ
mm,
प्रोसेस वाला नहीं था, पर अभी थोड़ा प्रोसेस लाना था, बिकॉज इट वाज समथिंग व्हिच हैड टू बी डन सेकंड। तो मैं आई वाज थिंकिंग व्हाट टू डू एंड आई डिडंट वांट टू हैव अ स्पेसिफिक स्टोरी फ्रॉम अ सिंगल पर्सन पर्सपेक्टिव। 3 हैकर की स्टोरी थी, तो ये सब था मेरे दिमाग में। बट देन उसमें challenges बहुत थे। फॉर एग्जांपल, देयर इज अ कैरेक्टर फ्रॉम कोलकाता एंड शी इज जॉगिंग, ओके, so I have never been to Kolkata, but then
I
मुझे
am
वो,
from Kolkata.
oh wow, this is nice.
Okay.
Okay, I should have met you earlier then, because I
No,
struggled quite a lot.
I used
So,
to study in Kolkata. I mean, it's
अच्छा,
been, and now I'm at home because मेरा graduation अभी एक महीने में हो जाएगा. So
oh, that's nice.
it's
Okay,
like
great. It's a good city, I realize after researching. I'll definitely want to visit it. But
do visit,
the, yeah, yeah, surely. But that's the thing actually, because I wanted to write, I write realistic fiction. तो मेरी कैरेक्टर 10 मिनट भाग रही रहती है। तो अभी मुझे ये गूगल करना पड़ा कि ऐसे कौन से पार्क है, जॉगर्स पार्क कोलकाता में। I got my point, right? So
yeah,
then, because
yeah.
I wanted to be authentic, I didn't want someone to comment like, अरे ये कुछ भी लिखा है, ये तो इतना छोटा है, 10 मिनट कैसे भागेगी? I
Uh,
wanted to have something realistic. And then when I'm describing the surrounding, for example, she runs and looks towards her left and she sees coconut trees ऐसे। But अगर वो joggers park के उधर coconut tree है ही नहीं, तो again it will be like because that's the
you
challenge
can,
about writing a yeah. So I wanted, like, I googled images and read a few blogs on like Rabindra Sarovar
yeah.
joggers park. Yeah, yeah. So uska hai. I'm not giving you spoiler, but it's just a small chapter in it. But then that's just one example I wanted to give you. So that's the thing actually. You should. तो उसमें बहुत ऐसे challenges आए. Point is कि second book लिखने में. So I kind of went into a mental blockade kind of. because and obviously workload also increased, so I couldn't be this carefree attitude because publishers को चाहिए था, not obviously it has not come out as of yet. It will take time, but कुछ और चीजें थी pipeline में for because we wanted to maybe pitch for some OTT platforms and all those things. So having a second book would have manuscript would have strengthened our pitch for a potential for second season of web series, something like that. So those things are there in pipeline, and there was a pressure deadline जो थी मुझे constantly पूछ रही थी. So yeah, there was
Oh,
that
the
mental pressure.
the book
Things
was
were
gonna turn into web series.
no, it's not gone. Things were in pipeline. I mean, things
Okay, okay.
are in pipeline, but nothing official yet, obviously. बट उसके लिए मतलब थोड़ा ये रहता है ना कि मतलब बुक की अगर सेकंड बुक हो थर्ड बुक हो तो
Yeah,
पिच थोड़ा स्ट्रांग हो
seasons.
जाता है क्योंकि आजकल या एग्जैक्टली दे लुक आउट फॉर द सीजन. सो इस ऑब्वियसली उसके बाद लॉकडाउन आ गया सब थोड़ा स्टॉल ही हो गया बट दैट बुक विल बी आउट नाउ. सो आई स्ट्रगल अ लॉट व्हाइल राइटिंग द सेकंड बुक फ्रॉम दैट सीरीज बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू उस टाइम फर्स्ट टाइम की ऐसा प्रेशर था कि यार ये लिखना है. उसके पहले इतना प्रेशर नहीं था, वो सब ब्लॉग्स थे ना.
Does it
तो
make a difference, like when you're writing for yourself and when you're writing with a pressure? So does it make
या
difference?
इट डज मेक अ डिफरेंस. सो इसलिए मैंने उसके बाद क्या किया कि आई completely चेंज द स्टोरी. आई काइंड ऑब्वियसली वो रिसर्च को टाइम लगा ही बिकॉज कैरेक्टर फ्रॉम कोलकाता, कैरेक्टर फ्रॉम Delhi and all that because so far what I had written is I had written from first person perspective, I और उस ये वाला स्टोरी मैंने लिखा है थर्ड पर्सन पर्सपेक्टिव. शी गोज हियर शी, तो उस कैरेक्टर के उस मतलब अंदर जाके उसका मेंटल स्टेट समझना एंड नॉट जस्ट वन कैरेक्टर, थ्री मेन कैरेक्टर, तो तीनों का अलग अलग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. So it was a very challenging process and a learning process, but again challenge which I kinda enjoyed despite all those blockades at times. And then I decided let's just go with the flow and see. So वो जो hacking का part था वो थोड़ा है उसमें मतलब अंडरग्राउंड साइबर वॉर्स का वो. I remember on Orkut days, uh, about Orkut. I
No.
don't think you will know. Yeah, so we used to use that before Facebook. ये कब की बात है? 2008, 9, 10, 11 उस टाइम की बात है. So we used to use that and उस पे बहुत सारा ऐसा चलता था, इंडो पाक साइबर वॉर की तरह. मतलब you can't call that cyber war, just defacement of website here and there. थोड़े करते थे बच्चे
Uh,
लोग. तो तो उसके बारे में लिखने के लिए then I went to Hyderabad and I have few friends whom I knew कि could know a lot of information about that. Again, I can't reveal everything there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
took here and there, Rajasthan, Hyderabad, and I learned few things, and then I kind of included it, and it was ready. So that's the thing.
So apart from reading books, do you have any plans for writing anything else, like a series or something?
Screenplay writing, you mean?
Yeah, kinda.
Uh, it is another different challenge. Writing a book is totally different, and screenplay is totally different because there is a lot of visualization. I've read few things, right? But yeah, I mean uh, there is that obvious thing, where we kind of know that आजकल OTT platform and everything बहुत ज़्यादा चल रहा है ना. So in fact, there is one slight uh, project which is in process. I'm not sure if that will be out anytime soon or
Because I
it will ever
saw
be
your
out.
story, Insta story.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
I had
remember.
shared that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so do you
I'm
like
glad people
watching
laugh.
movies also? Like apart from reading books, watching movies or series. What's your favorite?
Yeah, yeah. I like doing that. I kind of like watching series. I watch a lot of series and movies these days. I do not have again a particular favorite specific one as such. See, growing up, I liked How I Met Your Mother. It
Yeah.
was rom-com series. Then Californication, it's a series on the writer. So I kind of like that. Peaky Blinders, and in terms of in our India also nowadays on OTT platform, good series and movies are coming up. Like
Yeah,
Scam, I really like Aspirants, all those series.
yeah,
So yeah, I it would be hard for me to choose a particular specific series because every series is great in its own genre, and uh, I like the revolution that is taking place. Like people are liking good content, I would say. Rather, I don't want to disrespect the other content, but I I hope you get what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
The
People
content
are
which is
more hooked with
coming
their
up,
laptop now. They're like, कुछ
yeah.
laptop पे ही देख ले घर पे बैठ के. So it's like, and because of this pandemic, everyone is like, ठीक है, oh 6 seasons, wow, 1 week is done. So it's like, it's more like even I'm
Yeah.
hooked with that. I don't used to watch a lot of movies, but this 1 year has
Okay.
made me watch lot of movies. So it's, I,
That's good.
but that's again an
Ah, it's
imaginary world. Na, कि, okay, this is not me.
yeah, that is there. Mm,
We
that
all
is there.
love
So
escaping from reality.
yeah, that is there. Yeah, but then that's the thing, right? You can't completely shut it off. Also, obviously, I also like watching it, and I'm sure all other readers and writers also do. But
Yeah,
I guess we should balance it out. We should watch it on screen also, and we should also read books also.
yeah, because obviously
Yeah,
we can't.
hopefully. Yeah.
Like talking about Game
Let's
of
see.
Thrones, most people haven't read Game of
Uh,
Thrones, but they know about
books.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well,
That's the
I don't know
sorry,
if you
sorry.
feel
Carry
it or not, but अगर आप, I think you read Harry Potter, and when you read Harry Potter, when you watch Harry
on.
Potter, you just feel like कि ऐसा मैं feel करती हूँ कि बहुत सारी चीजें हैं यार इसमें नहीं डाला है उन्होंने बुक में, इससे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, बट अगर ये रियलाइज कि 1.5 घंटे की मूवी पे कितना ही वो डाल सकते थे.
Yeah, yeah. That is those kind of challenges always come. Yeah. So that's what I said. I haven't really tried screenplay writing, but be it of my books or be it some other for short films or series, I'll definitely like to explore that challenge and see those visualizations on screen. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
so
see. धीरे धीरे हो
but how's life in Goa now? Like most of the people are in Goa by seeing their stories and all.
रहे. I don't know because the curfew thing is still there. There are few restrictions, but with RT-PCR negative certificate, I guess I think people are being allowed to enter, and obviously because of rains and because of this season, all the shacks and everything are not there on the beach. It's all closed, but hotels are still open and people can roam around. I guess I don't know. I haven't been out much lately after the second wave.
So
So
talking about Goa, when you see like a lot of people talking like Goa is like a legendary place where everyone wants to go, and you live in Goa. So is it like, yeah, इसमें क्या खास है? Do you feel like that?
well, I used to feel that before because I was kind of born and brought up here, studied also here till my engineering. But then after that, I left for my job to Quick Hill to Pune. So उसके बाद first time मैं I guess इतना बाहर रहा for 2 3 months, and then when I came back, I remember that morning I woke up in the bus and bus had reached Goa. The first city है मेरी city Mapsa, and the air was actually fresh. हम सब ये स्टेटस में पढ़ते थे कि फ्रेश एयर. मुझे लगता था ये रोज की एयर है, बट देन वो
हाँ,
फ्रेश एयर वाला कंसेप्ट आई एक्चुअली रियलाइज कि वाओ, दिस एयर इज रियली डिफरेंट. आई मीन आई एम नॉट सेइंग पुणे इज पोल्यूटेड सिटी और समथिंग, इट्स क्वाइट गुड देयर एज वेल, बट ये अलग सा फीलिंग आया ऑफ बीइंग इनटू क्लीन एंड फ्रेश एयर एंड एवरीथिंग. And
yeah,
obviously in terms of beaches and everything, yeah, because mm, it's kind of nice, it's kind of scenic and beautiful, and people are lovely here, and uh, I liked growing up here. उस टाइम तो इतना commercialized भी नहीं था. Moorjim Beach. I grew up in Moorjim, and me and my grandpa used to take cycle rides on the beaches, and all those tiny roads, and there were fields and people used to play. Kids used to play cricket. Even I used to go there sometimes. तो वो वाला फील वाज टोटली डिफरेंट, अलग ही था. आजकल वो नहीं रहा बिकॉज रिसेंटली व्हेन आई वेंट टू मोरजिंग, it's totally commercialized. All those fields में सारे buildings आ गए, and I got lost after living in Morjim for like 10 years. Now when I went, I got lost. Some roads were closed, some न्यू रेस्टोरेंट्स केम अप एंड बीचेस जहाँ पे हम साइकिल राइड्स पे जाते थे कुछ भी नहीं था उधर. नाउ देर आर many properties, beach properties, restaurant properties, so it's quite different. But yeah, I mean, things move on, things evolve, and it's all right.
Wow. Where do you live now?
Now I stay in Thivim. It's a bit far from beach,
You live in
sorry.
Goa right now.
Yeah, Goa only, but in Thivim, this place is a bit interior. मतलब हिल स्टेशन की तरह है, हिली एरिया की तरह. So it's kind of
गोवा में
40
बीच भी
kilometers
और हिल भी
away.
है.
हाँ. Hills है ना वो waterfall दूध सागर and all you must have heard.
Oh, yeah, I've just heard. I've never went to Goa.
Okay.
I hope someday.
Yeah, surely.
So at last, what are your
So,
future plans? Sorry,
no, tell me. I
I was
was not
asking
adding anything.
what's your future plans like from now?
यार फ्यूचर का इतना सोचा नहीं है. सोचा तो मेंटल ब्लॉकेड आ जाएगा. I said earlier.
Is there any book which is
So
coming or something?
okay, yeah. In terms of that, yeah. A second book from Hacker series, which I was just talking about, that should be out. Everything is ready, but we just have to design the cover and set a timeline. Publishers will do that. Because all my books have been published traditionally. Uh, it's not like self-published or something. So I have to rely on publishers for their timelines and everything.
How do you
So I'm
approach
yet to hear.
publishers? Like like when if someone has written their book, then how do he or she approach to publishers?
In terms of traditional publishing, it's still the same. What I did was that one book which had gone unpublished. उस time मेरे बहुत सारे emails थे of publishers. So I just ended up pitching them with a synopsis and few sample chapters. The same thing I did in 2017 when I completed the Hacker series के three chapters. Like I'm so hack के three chapters, and I approached them. So then if they like the concept and synopsis and sample chapter, they find value in it. They kind of ask you for full manuscript. Then you give them the full manuscript. They assess it, and if they like, they give you the contract. If not, they don't. Uh, they maybe they come up with different plans like partner publishing or self publishing. We cannot fit this into traditional bracket, but we can go ahead with this offer, this service. It depends on what publisher you're you know what publisher is getting back at you, so it depends on that. So for me, fine, so I had around 2 3 contracts. So lead start gave me the best one because they had included ebook, then audiobook, and also international distribution, even offline international distribution, so that was great. And potential for web series pitching and all, उनका खुद का team ही pitch करने वाला था, so all those things kind of matched. I went ahead with lead start. And for second book also, there was a clause written that with the same contract we can also go ahead with the second book. So again, that was something which was traditional. उसी contract में आ गया. And Stoned का भी, like I said, I already had a discussion with Half Baked Beans on that front. So when I completed this manuscript, I directly went to Half Baked Beans publisher. और किसी को pitch नहीं किया मैंने because उनके Facebook page पे वो blog share हुए थे ना.
Yeah.
So I approached them only, and I asked them like, "This is a novella. Uh, I am giving you guys first right of refusal. I mean, if you want to take it, I haven't pitched it to anyone else. If you are interested, let me know. Yeah, I'm approaching you first." So they said, "Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead with it." And traditionally, they went ahead with it. So I did not approach anyone else. It made sense going with them only because उधर से ही idea बनती हुई थी ना. एंड या फिलहाल तो ये तीन बुक के लिए ऐसे ही हो गया. एंड पता नहीं आगे का बिकॉज थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग, पब्लिशिंग इंडस्ट्री इज चेंजिंग, इट हैज बीन अफेक्टेड a lot. And again, there is that debate whether to go traditional, whether to go self because of a lot of factors. Some I don't know. I would rather stick to traditional because publishers kind of put in their effort, their finances and everything, and utna level ka effort bhi ho raha hai. So I feel. Obviously, now in these 2 years, offline distribution has completely stopped and things have changed. But I'm so had available tha. 2019 में बहुत सारे offline bookstores में I used to get Instagram DMs and all like, hey, I went to this bookstore, I saw this cover, I bought your book.
Yeah,
So
I want to
for
tell that you have very cool covers of the book. Like they're so cool. They
thank
just
you, thank you.
I
So again,
recently
that was
ordered the first book actually, but now I think I should
oh,
order
thank you.
the hacker version also because I really like the thing which you were talking
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, do buy. No author will say not to that.
about.
So,
Yeah. Sure. So thank you so much, Gautam, for being on the podcast. It really means a lot to
yeah,
me. I hope you had a good time.
yeah, absolutely. I loved having this chat with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's it guys for this video. If you like the video, please give a fine thumbs up, positive note in the comments what else you wanna see on this channel. Till then, subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon and have a great life.